Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching today. And we're going to talk about, is this the moment for Bitcoin? Has it arrived? Has the moment of truth arrived that we've been waiting for this month of October, like every other October seemingly, and of course every other October in the halving, we have seen a takeoff. So we're going to look about where we're at in the Bitcoin cycle, where the Bitcoin price action is taking us, and what can we expect next. Okay, and before we do that, of course, before we jump into the news and the charts, you know what I'm going to say, smash that like. This helps get this channel out to more people and certainly does help support the channel. I do appreciate all the comments that people leave in the description, your kind words, encouragement. I read all of it and respond to all of that. Thank you. And of course, the questions that get asked, I do respond to those as quickly as I am able to. Don't forget about the cheat sheet. It's below in the description. And I tell you, it won't be long before we start hitting our first take profit levels on our HODL trades that we have been faithfully accumulating during the reaccumulation period. And of course, our swing trades, we've been taking a lot of profits on those. I've been sharing those on the Discord and also on this YouTube channel, and they're in the cheat sheet as well. So for that, and make sure that if you're not in the Discord, you can sign up for the Discord in the link below in the description with the cheat sheet. All right, we're going to jump into some of the news, and the big news event, of course, was we've got options trading on spot Bitcoin ETFs. Now, why is this bullish, you may ask? Well, there was an article put out here by Jeff Park, we in Australia call him Jeff Parky. You'd probably call him Parky. That's how they do the nicknames in Australia. Anyway, I digress. And he's got quite an extensive list of reasons why this is bullish for Bitcoin. And then he goes on and continues. He's got three things here. I'll just really cover the first one, essentially, because you can do Bitcoin options already on Ledger, X, and Deribit, and CME. However, he breaks it down why this is better and how you can cross-margin capabilities on multi-asset portfolios, claiming it to be the closest thing to free leverage, which is why he thinks this is a game changer. But then he goes on point 2, and then he's point 3 here, and you can read that in your own time. And then he gives a little bit of a summary of it all down here, and he's bolded some points there as well, which are quite interesting. So go give that a read in your spare time there. I've got the head of Alpha Strategies at Bitwise Invest. Isn't that a great title? Hey, what's your job? I'm the head of Alpha Strategies. I'm the top alpha. Okay, so kind of cool. But anyway, go check that out. And then looking at where we are on the Bitcoin cycle, certainly we are tracking exactly as we have. We're not early. We're not early and we're not late. We are right on time. And you can see here the previous cycle, there was an overextension due to Plus token, but there was also, now we've got an overextension due to the ETS. But in the end, it all ended up in the same place. And we look like we're going to end up in the same place as every other previous cycle. On this one here, it was 2020. We had that dip. We had a black swan event. Now we've had a white swan event. Okay. And it's just really a lot of noise in between. This is just noise in between getting us to where we're meant to be, which is right here. Okay. And so this just shows you that we are tracking exactly as we have been on previous cycles. You can see the 2024. You can see the other cycles up there. So we're not early, we're not late. Right now, we're just on time, and the moment of truth has come for Bitcoin. As you can see here, again, we've broken out here, and we're going to show this on the channel. I do want to see this go a little bit higher. I want to see it break this candle here, and identified that candle at 70,100. That's what I'm looking for, the break. When we get a break of that, we're going to create a higher high on the bull flag and on the wedge formation, the bullish wedge that we've been tracking. We're going to look at that in a moment. However, there is some caution. We could see some short-term volatility. We've got some bearish divergence. Should be worried. Usually these do play out. Okay, usually they do play out, and we have it on both the 4-hour and we have it on the 2-hour chart, and we have it on the 1-hour chart as well. And so certainly we do have that bearish divergence playing out. And so as we look in the charts here, where could that bring us down to? Okay, it's a very, very good question. Well, first of all, we have the tribal trades trend line, the line to rule them all. It's like the Lord of the Rings, one ring to rule them all, the tribal trades trend line. Look, it is just, these trend lines, as you know, if you've been watching this video from back in May, I drew these trend lines long ways back, long ways back. And look what's happened with price. It is respected here. And this is where I'm looking for the break here of this line here. This would create a higher high from over here. Now, we've got some higher highs from this trend line, which is good. And that's why we've broken through. To break through this trend line here, we need to get to 70,000, over 70,100. If we can do that, and then retest the support, then I can see us breaking through that all-time high there. But what have I said? I said all along, all the way back in May, that I saw us breaking out of this structure here before October 30th. We did it. We have now broken through the structure. Now we're looking for this. I have predicted that we'll break out of this. By the end, this will go through forward into the fourth quarter. But I think we might break out of here a little bit earlier than that. I said sometime in the fourth quarter, October, November, December. We're in the fourth quarter, and this is exactly happening as I predicted. We're going to have that break in this fourth quarter to the upside. So when people were down here, Bitcoin's going to 40, Bitcoin's going to 30, absolutely did not buy into that. I told you all here, there were bottom here. This was the bottom for here. Those of you who believed it, bought, made money. I told you this was the local bottom here. Those who bought it and believed it made money. I told you this was the local bottom here. Those who bought it, rinse, repeat. On here, I did say that this was not as a extreme deep bottom, and I was a little bit more conservative on this one. I certainly did buy these two dips here, didn't go in as heavy on this one. As it is, this did turn out to be a confirmed bottom here on this one. I did feel that it would be 58, 57. So I was about $1,000 off on that one, but that's pretty close. That's pretty close for that one there as well. And so what do I see from here? Well, what I said to you guys was you could trade this to the upside, take profit, come back, get back in, trade to the upside, take profit. So there's been two beautiful trades in here. Sure, they're not big trades, but they're trades all the same. And what I'm looking for here is a break to the upside above 71. 71, just a break, just get it there. Now we've created a higher high. Now we've created a higher high, and now we've truly broken out free from this structure here. Certainly this here, this wick above it that's not for me enough. It has to be higher than the other high there of 70,100. Now, where could we buy back in here at 67,400? And you could ride this up. This one came all the way up to almost 70,000. So there's a trade there. If we stay in here, obviously a breakdown. The first place I'm actually going to look at now, because we've had these EMA ribbons move, is going to be 64,600. And this is moving all the time. This is the moving average, the EMA ribbons. But then we have the 200 simple moving average still around 63,400. And then these are slowly moving up as well, 61,600 and 60,600. So those would be the areas, levels of support. And then down to the tribal trades trend line down at 59,000. Again, there we could see a retest there. If we were to get a flush out before the elections, or just before the elections, we could get a flush out there. That's what I would be looking for. But certainly I would think here not to lose this level here. I don't think we're going to create a lower low from the 58,900. So that would be my line in the sand to the downside. Certainly, I'm not sure, these are going to provide, and I told everybody all along that these would provide very strong support. We've got two major supporting trend lines here, and I just really didn't see, I didn't buy into the people saying we're going down in the low 50s and the 40s. It just would be against history. It would be a break away from what Bitcoin has done in the past. And quite simply, the charts just simply weren't showing it. I don't know where people were pulling these numbers from, but certainly there was a lot of FUD and fear. And we buy FUD and we buy fear. We buy big red candles and we sell the big green ones. So we should be selling into the strength and we should be buying weakness. Sell strength, buy weakness. That's how you make money in this market, okay? Not listening to people who are just pulling silly numbers out of a hat and pushing and trying to drive the market with fear. We have good, solid analysis, technical analysis on this channel. We look at the events that are happening around the world, and we base it on common sense. Okay, this trading channel is all about common sense. And so common sense tells us we should be aware of this bearish divergence on the 4 hour. You can also check it out on the 2 hour. I believe it's on the 1 hour as well. Certainly, we've started to see it play out a little bit on the charts here. Let's look at the 4 hour. We've seen a little bit of a pullback, but I think we could, and it doesn't mean that we're going to have a major dump, by the way. I shared about bearish divergence sometime, and someone's like, oh, should I dump everything? And I'm like, what? No, it could be as small as a pullback as this. We could just come back down to here. We could just come down to here. We could just come down to here. It just usually means that these things don't always play out, number one. So just be careful, be cautious that they don't always play out, but generally they do. And so just keep an eye on that for the weekend price action. We could see a little bit of a sell-off or maybe on Monday, and they don't always play out right away because I did share about bearish divergence yesterday and on the 1 hour and the 2 hour, and the price continued to go up, and then now we have bearish divergence also on the 4 hour time frame. Okay, and I do believe it's more powerful on the daily, on the weekly. If we were to see a bearish divergence, then I would be a little bit more alarmed and we could see a little bit of a bigger drop. But usually just on the 1, 2, and now on the 4 hour, you do see a little bit more of a drop, but certainly I don't see a big dump coming because of that bearish divergence. But just keep an eye out on it. And another thing to keep an eye out on is my altcoin show, which is coming up in a couple of hours. So until then, happy trading.